to Facebook and your aquarium, there's going to be a couple things you're going to be looking to do when you're using Facebook. Usually you're looking for information. Maybe you're looking to show off some of your pretty fish or your pretty fish tanks or your plants. Maybe you're looking to buy stuff. You're trying to find a contact online to buy some fish, plants, or whatever it be. Or you're looking to sell your stuff. It's important to start on this subject first off and foremost. Facebook does not allow the selling of live animals. When you go to any of these aquarium groups on Facebook, do not say, I'm looking to sell fish. I'm looking to, when you're talking about buying fish, you're not talking about that on the post itself. You could talk about that in your private messages, but you are never to ever say you are selling fish in a Facebook group. Any live animal. Fish, shrimp, snails, any of it. You are never to say that in a Facebook group, and I need to be very clear because I see that happen in a lot of Facebook groups. And if this Facebook group that you're dealing with is a big group, those people have put years possibly of their lives into building that group and building a community for you, and you need to abide by those rules. So that is my PSA first statement. Want to start there. All right. That being said, there are ways around that. So what you'll see is hey, these fish are up for water change, or these fish are up for rehoming, because there's no rules against giving fish away for free. Now when you talk to somebody about that conversation will be brought to private messaging, and then that's when you can discuss pricing, your personal addresses, and all that stuff, but keep that off the public forums. All right. So when you're selling stuff online, you're listing it as water changes, rehoming, and you also need to follow the rules of the individual Facebook groups. That's one of the key things about finding a good Facebook group, is ones that have strict rules are usually the ones you want to be part of. They're hard to work with because sometimes you're doing a post and it's wrong, and then they send it back to you and you're like, why am I being denied? And it feels personal, but in reality, those people are just trying to set a set of guidelines, and teaching everybody to follow those rules is kind of hard. So when they deny a post, just ask them what you did wrong and try to be understanding of where they're coming from, defending their group that they've made. Okay, so we kind of segued into the rule thing already, right? So we know that these Facebook groups have rules and you need to follow them. The ones with the stricter rules usually are better groups. They're going to not tolerate bullying, harassment, hate, or any of the stuff that you get when you post your tank in some of these places and people are just making fun of it, or they're telling you that everything you're doing is wrong. You do need to listen to some of that, possibly. All right. So say you do have an aquarium and someone has a suggestion to you. Sometimes people know more than you, and you need to listen to those things with open ears. But when it's said from a hateful place and you can tell the difference, then there might not be a point in listening to it. But sometimes there are people out there with a lot of experience, and they can kind of suggest things to you and be like, hey, I've done that before, or this, you might want to try that. And those are the people you probably want to listen to. You might even want to start a conversation with them. You might be able to learn a lot. That's one of the things that Facebook is really good for, is starting conversations with people that know a lot, but it comes with the negative aspect of you're going to run into a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about, and they're just kind of mean. My favorite group, or one of my favorite groups, is the Apistogrammas and dwarf cichlids group, and I'm going to link both of those down in the description below. It's an amazing group headed by some people that are extremely knowledgeable on Apistogrammas. You can ask about dwarf cichlids such as the crebensis or shell dwellers or rams too. Great group of people, and I've never really ran into any hate. I have ran into strong-handed advisement, because these people know a lot and they really care about the species that we're dealing with, which mainly is Apistogrammas in that group. So when you post something, you better know your stuff, because those people are going to call you out on it if you don't. And those are the kind of groups that, it might be hard to hear some of that information, but you're going to learn the most from them. And so I think that group is one of my favorite groups. The other group that I would suggest that is a plant group is a Cryptocoryne group that I will also link down in the description there. You guys have to check these out. This is a group from people all over the world that grow crypts. You can find, you know, flowered crypts. A lot of them are immersed grown. Some of them are grown in aquariums. And you can get species identifications because there's so many people that just know all the species that have grown all of them. Problem is with a lot of the species you can't really identify completely unless you flower it, and that's something that's a whole nother level of crypt keeping. So let's make sure you guys check that one out. It's ran by a bunch of people that are really educated into the crypt species, and it's something that I would definitely suggest to you to check out. Now, as far as finding groups in your area, all right, so my local area is the Chicagoland area, and so when I was first into aquariums and I couldn't find or didn't have any local connections, I went onto Facebook and I basically searched, you know, my local area. I searched my zip code and fish, and then I searched my town and like aquariums and fish, or I searched my county, and, you know, obviously the keywords aquarium and fish. And if you just kind of mess with those, sometimes you'll be able to find these groups. Now, not everybody is as lucky as me and is in such a aquarium rich community. There is a lot of people that deal with aquariums, breed, and go to the swaps in my local area, so I don't really have an issue finding people around me. Now, there are a lot of people out there that are going to have issues finding people out that are into the same things as them out in their local area. So I would definitely search through those Facebook terms. You know, if you go on Facebook, search your local area, town, or your local area, your county, your state, whatever, and then maybe you'll be able to find a group that's kind of near you. That's my best suggestion for finding stuff local to you. Now, my favorite local groups are, you know, the Chicago Aquatic Market. There's a few of them, and I'll link all my favorite Facebook groups down below. Those are some of my favorite groups because they really have connected me to the aquarium societies in my area. They have connected me to people that now are, you know, really good friends of mine. And yeah, so I really encourage brand new hobbyists, especially if you're really getting into it, if you're thinking about breeding any type of species, to find your local Facebook groups, because that's where you're going to get the most help, most information. You're going to grow the fastest in the aquarium hobby. So this has been a little quick video about how to deal with Facebook and how to use it to your advantage and how to navigate the dumpster fire that we all know. All right, guys, much love. Thanks for coming by, and I will see you next time.